Welcome back to Class on Grass Podcast, Season 2, Episode 37. The final
episode of Season 2, as we return after a, you could say long 1 month break. And it was kind of unexpected. I'm really not sure we even let anyone know that this break was going to be happening. I remember last episode, I was like, see you guys next week. And then suddenly we don't appear for another month. But there was good reason. Mac was away for like 2 weeks, and then I was away for like 2 weeks, and that adds up to a month. So can't really do the podcast when half the hosts is away. So yeah, now we're back, and we're probably going to do this pod and then wait a little bit longer for our next episode. It won't probably be next week, so really soak this one up, just because really everything is done with.
You know? It's in that in-between
and
stage.
If we do have podcasts in this in-between stage, all we can talk about is transfers and some preseason stuff, which is really light. It's not enough to make a good full podcast, so I think it's better if we just wait, and then when we get enough built up, or just right before the start of the Premier League season, we just dive into it. We say, here's what happened, and then, get into everything that's going to be happening next year, which honestly I'm super excited for. I don't know about you, but every time there's like a turn of like events, you finish one thing, it's like anticipation for the next. But obviously we have to do a little overview of what happened because we haven't been here for a while. So if you guys have been living in a cave or something like that and you don't know what's been happening over the past month, the Euros and the Copa America, both huge national competitions, or should I say international competitions?
International.
Yeah, there we go. International competitions have been held. Copa America is for South America, and Euros is for, obviously, Europe. And we've had two winners, and two, I don't know, ones that write a good story, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know, the Euros is maybe a little less, but starting with Copa America, it was a great competition. There was tons of aggression, tons of, it's what you get in a South American competition. And
especially the final.
Oh, God, it was amazing. And the semifinal. Did you watch the Colombia-Argentina game?
I saw the highlights, but, one thing I was in the final against Brazil, Messi went in for a scissor kick slide tackle.
I was like, he wants this. I looked at my dad, I was like, no chance. I've never seen him
15 minutes, he just goes flying into a tackle, and I'm like, all right, now he actually wants to.
So yeah,
it's the last time.
I mean, there's so much intensity. Like, all the players just want it so bad. And I was in North Carolina when the semifinal was being played, Argentina Colombia, and so I was with my team, and we were in a hotel, and so we all went down to the lobby. It had like a big bar area and like restaurant. We were all sitting at the bar, and I kid you not, there was like 90 people. People sat on top of tables, like 30 Colombian fans, 30 Argentinian fans, like actually from Colombia and Argentina, and then the rest were like neutrals. Place was buzzing. It was ridiculous. Like, from the first minute, people were yelling constantly, no matter what was happening. And then, I swear, so my whole team was rooting for Argentina, because I think the world outside of fans,
if you weren't Brazilian,
or if you weren't, in that instance, Colombian, you want Argentina because, Messi deserves this trophy. But yeah, I mean, people were just going crazy. And that's the moments you live for, when you just see, the absolute, unity and, community that soccer can create. But yeah, I mean, it was a wonderful competition, and as I said before, Messi got his first major international trophy, which
it kind of completes
it decorates him as the GOAT, in my opinion.
He was already, but
yeah, I mean, it just
that
gives
was
him
one of the arguments where it's like, oh well, he hasn't done anything for Argentina, but
you can't argue him or Ronaldo now, because they both have the same amount of major international trophies, and Messi has more Ballon d'Ors, and Messi's just I'm sorry, but if you think Ronaldo's a better overall player, I just do not agree with you.
No.
Messi is so much more well-rounded. Ronaldo's better at certain things. But
yeah, and I mean, this tournament was definitely deserved, not only because he needed that final trophy, but also he was the player of the tournament, as he scored 4 and assisted 5 in 7 games or something.
And
which is incredible.
Argentina only scored 12 goals. So he was part of 9 of their 12 goals. Literally carried them the whole way.
So
except for the final, which obviously Angel Di Maria scored the only goal in.
Yeah.
But
He did not play great in the final, but
No.
that no one will remember that. They'll just remember that he did win the trophy. And then also around that time, like a week or two ago, Barca came out with rumors that he might sign a 5-year deal with them, and stay with them after months ago. It looked like he was certain to leave for City or PSG or someone.
Yeah.
Which I feel like Barca did really well to get him to stay, most likely, because
I don't know
signing
what they said.
like
Oh,
Aguero
yeah.
though, signing Aguero,
That was-
like his best friend on Argentina. I feel like that was huge. Also, I'm hearing Griezmann's gonna leave. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
He's gonna go back to Atletico.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know exactly where he'll go, but there's a lot of rumors out right now. I just know I looked at Fabrizio Romano's post about Messi's status right now, and if there's anyone in the world who's going to give an accurate, I don't know, like bit of info about a player's transfer, it's going to be him. And he said the deal is virtually done. They just need to work out like financial terms a little bit more over the next couple of days, but deal to at least 2023. So that would be like, what, 2 years, and maybe it could be extended until longer.
I mean, it's
So,
retirement, pretty
yeah,
much.
it's whenever he's going to be done. And honestly, I think that's a win for all of football as well. Like, no one wants Messi to leave.
No.
Like, as long as he can continue to perform, no one wants him to leave. Like, and I think he will. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah, a 5-year deal would definitely mean retirement. I wouldn't see him wanting to stay for another 5 years and then leaving if he did want to play somewhere else. So I feel like it's either leave now or stay until
Yep.
you just finish out your career, which, like you said, would be great. One club, all he's done for Barca and everything. It'd be nice for him just to stay the whole time. So
Yeah. Well, then, obviously, going over to the Euros, which happened at the same time as the Copa America, that's not a usual thing for anyone who doesn't know that. Usually they're spaced out. Well, the Copa America isn't actually spaced out between every 2 years. Did you see that?
Is it not?
The timeline? Well, it's hilarious. So, there's a timeline of all the Copa Americas
Yeah.
that happened, and, like, I swear to God, it goes, like, 1 year it happens, and then the next year it happens, and then they wait like 3 years, and then it happens, and then they wait like 2 years, and it's so random. Like, it's not at all.
yeah,
And I was looking at the comments on the post, and they're like, whenever CONMEBOL needs money, they just hold the Copa America.
well, I feel like and then the Gold Cup, I guess, is on as well, but
I mean,
it's US's kind of
the U.S. decided to
B
take a
team.
stinker on that.
yeah.
And
I mean,
they're gonna do well.
gonna
I mean,
do well. It's just not as entertaining of players.
Who
you
was
could
it
say.
that we played and we won 5-1?
Just last game?
Yeah.
Martinique.
Yeah, you know who's a beast? There's 2 players in that team. I was like, so
Who?
good. Obviously, Matthew Hoppe was.
Oh, on the U.S. team, yeah.
And then Daryl DK.
Oh,
Incredible,
technically a hat trick, even though
Incredible,
one of his
yes.
goals was like kind of deflected. But
incredible. What a
he-
player!
I mean, yeah, I think he
The
should
future
start.
of the United States, number 9.
I think he should start in
Number
our
9.
first,
Yep.
like when all of the European players are back. I don't see him being better than Sargent or, other options.
Yeah, so Sargent's not better. Matt's obviously not better.
He was playing like wing.
I know, and I kind of like that.
He was playing really well as like he didn't take many shots. He wasn't in a scoring position, but his
Well, that back heel was
delivery,
so
yeah,
dirty.
his deliveries were
That
very
it
good.
was so dirty. Do you remember that? Like he took it down. He's like just outside the 6-yard box. He took it down and then backheeled it, and then it led to like a fake own goal.
Yeah,
Whatever. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, well, the other options I know Greg loves to play Zardes, and I definitely think Daryl's better than Zardes, and I think he's better than Josh Sargent, and
Yeah.
I think he's better than Conrad, who could play wing anyway. Did you see Conrad actually got an assist in preseason?
he transferred.
Oh, wait, was it real? Was it a regular season game?
I think preseason. No leagues have started,
Yeah,
but
because I was seeing that. They were, like,
he
in the first
transferred
game.
to Marseille
Nasty assist.
from Barca B team kind
Yeah,
of.
he
never
was on
really-
Barca B.
Um,
But he transferred to Marseille's first team.
Yeah.
And then he was on the wing, and he took a guy on, did a little shimmy, got around him, and then just drilled in a cross back post, like low, just on the ground. It was like
Yeah, I saw
absolute
that.
bullet, and the guy just finished it off because it went past the keeper. So yeah, I mean, he's obviously doing well there, and that's good. I was watching the Valencia versus Villarreal game yesterday. It was held at a beach resort. I'm not kidding. You know how all the big teams go to like, I don't know, if they're from England, they go to like Marbella in preseason and stuff like that. So this is like the same thing. They went to like a beach resort, and it had like just like a field with barely any stands. It was like smaller than our high school field. And they just had like it was pretty bad camera quality and stuff, but it was aired on ESPN3. And so I was watching it, but Yunus Musa looked really good in the preseason game. So yeah, that's good to see. Just American players overall flying right now,
Definitely.
which is good. Unfortunately, none of them were in the Euros because that's not possible. But the Euros were still amazing, and I think, looking back on it, I think you never appreciate it while it's there.
No,
you never did. I don't know why.
Not at all.
But like I didn't. I'm looking back at like Pogba's goal and like all these different moments and like
so many overtime goals or games, so many penalties.
Dude, it's just incredible.
Would you think? I agree. I think even in a month from now, we'll look back at it even better.
Yeah.
But do you think that was where does that rank in your best tournament, like World Cup, Euros?
Since I've started watching.
Yeah.
So I started watching, I mean, I have to say properly in 2014. I watched a little bit of 2010, but like I can't assess how good that tournament was for like nostalgia purposes.
Yeah.
I'd say it goes 2014 World Cup for me, then Euro 2020, then Euro 2016, then World Cup 2018. But they're all so great anyway.
That would be my exact list too. I mean, just even though we were a lot younger in 2014, that Brazil, like the vibes in Rio and like, dude, it was just felt
having
so
it in Rio was so good. And remember the World Cup game, like the Ultimate Team game on your phone?
Oh yeah,
dude, I was playing that constantly. Dude, the vibes.
It was so different in Russia, even though it was a very good tournament.
South Africa was good.
Yeah, just seeing like the beaches and everything, and all like the commercials and everything. It was like so much better than seeing Russia, where it's like
Russia was great. Like
it was a great tournament.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I loved that tournament, and I still go back and watch like the I don't know, World Cup 2018 montages that have like Waka Waka behind them and stuff like that. But it doesn't climb the list just because it doesn't have that same vibe. I mean, the problem with the Euros is like what you're getting. They're never gonna be like on beaches. They're just gonna be around Europe, but the amount of comebacks and extra times
and all the teams are
ridiculous.
So much more even. It's just like obviously Europe has probably the most
selection.
Good teams. Yeah. In the world, so it does. There are going to be more games where it's two really good teams up against each other than in the World Cup, where that only happens closer to the final. But yeah, like I mean, it just had everything.
It did. It had everything. What do you think the best game was?
Oh,
I already know mine. I decided when the game happened. I mean, that is the best.
Yours is probably France, Switzerland. Yep. Yeah. So I didn't get to see that game. I was on a plane, but I would have to say that one. I feel like that one it would have to be just because I did watch like the full replay. So I did watch the game, just not live.
Dude, Pogba was unreal.
Yeah, I mean, Pogba played insane. Switzerland coming back with 5 minutes left in the game, scoring 2 goals. I mean, that was just incredible. Yeah. And there were many games like that, but that one,
what was
the amount of goals?
There was Spain, Croatia,
Croatia was like...
It was 5-3 in extra time, but it was 3-3.
3-3 Croatia...
they brought it back at the end.
Tied at the end. I think they were down by 2 goals. Yeah,
it was the same thing, and then they brought it back.
And then they just kind of fell apart in overtime. But even that game was like, God, what's happening?
It's crazy.
Like that. Those two are on the same day, no?
One apart.
One day. Like I was like, God, like these games are just getting better and better. And obviously, with England, it didn't really.
Well, the England game was a bit of a or the final.
Yeah,
it was a bit of a disappointment.
It was a good game. was very intense, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like goals everywhere.
That's
you know,
the thing. Like
it was a very tactical game.
Yes, it was a chess match.
Mhm.
And that's not bad, but it wasn't like the free flowing football. Like I swear, I've never seen total football played so well in anywhere except for these Euros. Like teams were just flying
Yeah,
forward,
yeah.
and it
Every
was like
team.
it was like you would fly forward and then you'd lose the ball, and the other team would just fly at you.
It was
and it was
such
just constant going back. I don't
such
even know
high
how the
intensity.
like Spain. I mean, they're not a great example of someone who
Mhm.
plays total football, but like I don't understand how Sergio Busquets made it through 120 minutes multiple times.
Yeah.
Like it baffles my mind.
Spain were probably the most boring team,
Oh, dude, so
at
boring.
least up until that Italy game.
Yeah.
Just because their possession is so good that they literally keep it the whole time. Don't really do much, but they
lose
carve.
creativity.
Yeah, but then they get that opportunity and they just get through those games. But then in that Italy game, both Italy and Spain kind of played similarly but like the touches, that was like such a technical game.
Yeah, it
like
was ridiculous.
the touches in that game were incredible, and
Like
the passing.
just watching it was like these guys are so
Yeah,
good.
that's one of those games where you're watching, you're like, okay, yeah, now I know why they're professionals.
Exactly.
Like,
Sometimes you watch and you don't know.
you're like, wow, I could have done that. Like they were
But
just
that game, it was like not on that field.
yeah,
Right? No chance. Zero chance
Yeah.
in the world I'm getting on
Yeah.
that field and doing anything right now.
But yeah, it was a great tournament. We did
Unbelievable
get
tournament.
questions.
Yeah, I heard we got a question from loyal
couple.
supporter Brian.
On
So
our
if
Discord.
if you can read that out. Yeah, they are on our Discord. If you're listening right now, you're not a part of that Discord. You can become a patron on our Patreon. It's only like I think $2.
$2,
and then you
yep.
get to go on our Discord and ask us questions. So yeah, we got a question
First
from Brian.
question is best player at the Euros.
I'm gonna go with Paul Pogba.
Really?
He didn't have the longest tournament, but he just graced the field every time he went on it. Like it was a joy to watch. Literally, he was unreal.
For some reason, 2 goalies come to mind.
Jan,
Like 3 goalies. Jan Sommer for Switzerland, Jordan Pickford played incredible.
Really good. That Jorginho save.
Yeah, he always does for England. And then obviously Donnarumma because he won.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I think the goalkeepers in this tournament did extremely well.
I know Donnarumma deserved that player of the tournament because they won and everything, and a lot of awards are based on trophies.
Yeah.
But if I had to give best goalie for the amount of time they played, Jan Sommer.
Yeah, Sommer definitely deserves it, but if you go out in the quarterfinals or whatever they did, it's hard to give that to them. Obviously, players like Sheik also tied highest goal scorer, right? With Ronaldo.
Cristiano.
Also had probably the goal of the tournament from
unreal
halfway. Just really, really good tournament for him. Obviously, the Czech did go out early as well. But it's kind of those players that if they did go further, they would have kept playing at that level.
Like if Switzerland was better, Jan Sommer would have been playing at that level through the whole tournament. And like if Switzerland was able to somehow win it and Jan Sommer continued that, 100% play the tournament. Or it would have been Granit Xhaka. But both of them, Granit Xhaka also somehow learned how to play football and did it in great fashion.
Yeah.
Dude was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like something happens when you leave your club and you go play for your international team and or your national team, not your international team. That doesn't
Your
really
national
work.
team.
Yeah.
In an international
In
tournament.
an international, tournament. But something happens to players when that happens, when you do that, and they just completely transform. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I guess also just thinking now, like players like Luke Shaw or Steven Zuber, both with multiple assists and played really well on the wings.
Shaw even scored, second minute of the final.
Yeah. So I think I would say there's probably more better defenders / goalies in this tournament than there was attackers. Just because of, like you said, everyone was going forward, everyone was defending, and just the intensity of the game, I think they all contributed. Secondly, best young player.
Which one do you want to take, the Spanish or the English?
I was thinking Spanish.
Okay, I'll take the English. You can go first.
Pedri,
Yep.
obviously. I think he didn't misplace a pass in the 90 minutes against Italy.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And then only misplaced like 2 in the extra 30 minutes against Italy, which, you know, and
he
then
wasn't going backwards the whole time. It wasn't
No.
like a center back where he's just playing it to his outside backs. This guy was literally running forward and playing through balls.
he plays that type of game where it's just like it's so solid and
is.
it's just so nice to watch because, like we said, he just doesn't make
Isn't
a
he like
mistake.
17 or 18?
He's 18.
It's like ridiculous.
He just obviously he was chosen for best young player of the tournament, so it's not like a huge take from me, but it's obviously deserved, in my opinion, and I think
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he does alongside like De Jong and stuff for Barca.
Exactly. And then, obviously, I think you know who I'm going to pick for the second place best young player. He's an English lad. He did, unfortunately, miss the deciding penalty in the final, but that does not take away from the performances that he had in the tournament, and that's Bukayo Saka. Everyone knows he's a solid player. He's been great for Arsenal, and he was great this tournament. He got star of the match, was it once or twice?
I think once.
And then just overall really solid performance. Even in the final, he did well. You know, it's just like he's gonna get a lot of shade thrown at him because of that one miss. And honestly, people have reacted pretty well. The majority of fans have really backed him. But
Yeah,
I
after
don't-
like an initial with
Yeah.
the racism and
there,
everything,
there was
but
there was a lot of problems.
there's been an
but
outcry of-
There has been a lot of people that
Yeah.
are coming together. And backing him, Sancho, and Rashford all
Mm-hmm.
together. You know, you've seen the social media posts of the mural of Marcus Rashford that was painted a couple months ago.
Yeah.
That actually got graffitied on right after he missed that penalty, and then the original artist came back and actually redid the whole area where it had it had gotten vandalized, and then people from all around that town, which is I think the town he grew up in.
it's around Manchester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they came together and they put like hearts on it and like different
Like
notes on it.
letters,
Yeah, it was awesome to see. But going back to Bukayo Saka, he got initial hate and stuff, but everyone came together, and I think people are appreciating what he did in the tournament more now, and also just supporting him as a young lad because that's what he needs. But definitely for the performances that he put in, second best young player at the tournament.
And then I think you could also throw Declan Rice as well in there.
Yeah.
He's only a couple years older, I think.
Deck is my favorite player.
But especially in that final,
I don't know why he
his
came out.
dribbling.
Why did they bring him out and
took-
put Hendo in?
Yeah,
It's a like for like.
They should have
switch.
taken Phillips out, in my opinion.
I don't think you. Why do you? Okay, Deck did not look tired, and Phillips didn't look tired.
No.
When they came out. So why are you taking one of them out and putting literally a carbon copy of themselves back in?
Yeah.
There is zero reason to do that.
Yeah.
Like Henderson is the same player.
Yeah, but especially in that first half, that's the best I've seen probably any defensive midfielder play in one half because his dribbling and just explosiveness, like
he looks
acceleration, he's a big guy, but
He looked
the
fast.
way he accelerated and dribbled, just great footwork. I was like, wow, I've never seen this from him
Yeah.
before, and obviously it came up short, obviously when he went off, but I feel like he had a very good tournament as well.
I saw the funniest tweet about him and Phillips. They were like, how could England not win anything? It was before, obviously, England lost. It was like before the final. But they're like, how could England not win anything with Lampard, Scholes, and Gerrard, the three best midfielders of the of England's time, but are somehow now possibly going to win the Euros with two people who look like they delivered my refrigerator.
A Leeds player and a West Ham player.
Yeah, literally. Like I don't understand. I mean, they're great players. So
Yeah.
Actually, Calvin Phillips was kind of a breakout player. I don't know if that is a question. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But if I had to give a breakout player, that would be one of them. Calvin Phillips. Everyone knows he's good, but no one really expected him to come in and be a core piece
Yeah.
of that England team.
I mean, yeah.
And he did it in good style. Like he came in and immediately showed why he's there.
I'm a bit salty because Ward-Prowse wasn't included, and he definitely would have been in that place of Phillips and would have played every game. But again, Calvin Phillips did probably as much as Ward-Prowse would
I
have
think
done.
Calvin Phillips did more defensively.
Yeah.
It's just that Ward-Prowse would have been an absolute machine on set pieces.
Yeah, there was a couple of free kicks where I was like, oh,
Yeah, you need him. You need
would've-
him out there.
This would have been a goal, but you got Sterling or someone on it who's
Yeah,
gonna
then-
hit
then
the
it's
wall.
not.
Yeah. So, and then final question from Brian: which player from the Euros would you like to see move to the Premier League? I mean, as of right now, I know there's rumors about Locatelli to Arsenal, who had a great kind of group stage and then got benched for the knockouts and didn't really play that much because Barella came in. I don't know who else. I know he would be fun to see, as I really liked what I saw when he started.
Two, and they're both Italian players, and they're both very young, so it's probably not realistic yet, but I do think it's something that we could definitely see in the next 5 years. You named one of them already, Barella. I love him. Great young player, lots of potential. And then the other one was arguably Italy's most clutch and maybe best player throughout their string other than Gianluigi Donnarumma, and that'd be Federico Chiesa. He is a wonderful young lad. You know, literally, I think he scored the goal in extra time against Porto in the Champions League. He scored the goal in extra time against, who else was it? In the Euros? Can't remember. But it was like
Austria.
Yeah. And you know, he just comes in when they need him most and he performs, and overall looked really good this tournament.
That's true.
I'd love to see him.
I think I would put him up there as best young player as well.
Yeah, he
I kind of forgot
definitely.
about it. But I still think Pedri was better, but Chiesa I think is one
Chiesa
to watch.
Maybe
as
Chiesa's
they
a little
say.
better than Bukayo Saka this tournament, but
Yeah.
I don't know who's better overall. It's like it's hard. Those three,
His shooting is incredible.
unreal. Like this guy can hit an absolute dart.
And like out of nowhere, like he wouldn't line up a shot. He'd just be dribbling and then just quick fire one out.
Yeah, ridiculous.
But I agree. I think a lot of the Italian players would be fun to see.
Yeah, I mean that whole Italian team obviously looks really good. They didn't actually make the World Cup in 2018, so for them rebuilding, that's huge. Like going from not making the World Cup to literally winning the Euros, the most prestigious.
Undefeated in like 30 games or
I
something.
think it's like 38.
Yeah.
I think they beat the record.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, technically speaking, like they're making history as a national team.
How do you think they'll do in the World Cup next
It's
year?
hard to say because, you know, expectations also do take a pretty big toll.
Yeah.
And I don't think people had many expectations for Italy going into it. People were like, oh, they could be a dark horse and stuff. But it's not like France where you're like, oh, powerhouse team. And now I think Italy are going to be looked at like that.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
they need to perform. And on top of that, they had goals coming in from a lot of different players, but they didn't have a goal scorer.
No,
the whole
Immobile
tournament.
didn't
Immobile
really show
did
up.
not show up. Well, Immobile's never really showed up
No.
for Italy, and that could be a problem when they start needing a more reliable goal scorer if their team isn't flowing like it is right now. I mean, right now it's fine because everyone is firing on all cylinders, but that's not going to keep up for the next 3 years. So, you know, I don't know. And next year, World Cup, I think it's in November, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. But, I mean, that basically concludes the Euro roundup. And like we said earlier, great tournament. Can't wait for...
Yep.
I mean, once it's done, you look back, you're like, that was awesome. And then you look forward and you're like, a couple more weeks, you know, maybe 3 or 4 more weeks, and then we're back into the Prem. And that's going to be awesome. You know, for some strange reason, like, I go from... like really, really wanting it to be summer and the Euros to really, really wanting it to be Christmas and having the like the bunch of games, Premier League games
Definitely.
at Christmas. I'm always looking forward to what's next. But yeah, it's good to see what's in the future. And then the only other really, well, we do have one more big thing that was kind of strange, announced by
Also Italian.
the Italian FA. The Serie A is now banning green kits, which is kind of strange.
Because
Especially,
it's similar to grass, they say.
yeah, they say it's like
It doesn't fit.
just buy a better camera.
Yeah.
Like if you can't tell the difference between a green jersey and the grass, like I'm concerned for the camera quality that
And
you're
it's-
putting out there.
Also, when one of the teams, Sassuolo, is
Yeah,
literally green.
They have a
Like,
green badge. Like that their history is green. The city runs.
Did they
green.
not really think about that?
Like this is an entire football club that you're saying you need to change your colors.
Yeah.
That's like if they were like, "Hey, Manchester United, you can't
No
wear
red.
red
No
anymore.
red.
Not gonna happen. You need to switch your colors up. It's not okay." Like how does it? And like it's not even true of any other league. Like
No.
Wolfsburg in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean, did they not realize that they also have green grass over there in Germany? I don't know.
It would be very interesting to see if they come out with like new.
If they, I
badges.
would love it if they kept their badge. But if they switch it, I understand.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would love it if they like. The problem is they can't. They just have to go like like you said earlier when we were talking, they have to go black and white for their
Yeah.
kits, and that's so boring.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I mean, could they put like, is it no green at all? Like, could they put green accents?
I would think so.
Like, you gotta give them something. Like, this is a green club.
Yeah.
I don't even know. But yeah, that was the strangest news that happened over
Mm-hmm.
the last couple days. And then other than that, it's just like
A lot of transfers,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Probably the biggest one that had been coming for years now.
Literally years.
Sancho finally signed to United, which I think is a great move for him. He's been putting up double-digit assists and goals for like 3 seasons now at Dortmund, and I would love to see him in the Prem.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was at Man City's academy, so there's a bit of a rivalry there.
A bit of a red-blue contrast.
Yeah, we'll see there. And then also Varane is almost signed to United, I believe.
Yeah.
It's very close.
I mean, dude.
Which is gonna be an incredible.
So,
signing for
I was
them.
looking at Instagram before this, and I saw they were like, Liverpool's center backs walking together, and it was Virgil van Dijk and Konate walking next to each other. And then I was like, wait a minute, Liverpool's gonna have them two, and United's gonna have Maguire and Varane. That's ridiculous.
And then
The center
Diaz
backs,
and
and
Stones.
oh god, dude, these center backs in the Premier League are just getting crazy,
Yeah.
unreal.
And then Giroud is signed with AC Milan, leaving
How sad to see
Chelsea.
him leave. Like the Premier,
That's
dude,
gonna be an incredible front.
yeah, Zlatan and
Zlatan
Giroud.
and
I mean,
Giroud.
you don't even have to change up your play style. They're the
They'll
same.
just shoot from like 40 yards.
Exactly. It's either cross it in or let them rip.
And they both have the most acrobatic goals ever.
Honestly.
Like scorpion kicks, bikes,
Yeah,
goals.
it's crazy. And it's kind of sad to see him go from England because I think the stat was like 300 something games, and if you like have the games, that's how many goals he scored. So for someone who is on the bench like half of the time, so
he really
like
deserved
half the
more.
time
Yeah.
he's coming in with only like 30 minutes left, and he's still getting a goal every other time he touches the field.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
He's just, for a team like that just needs goals.
Dude,
he's just incredible.
Brighton should take him.
He really should have gone to Brighton.
Dude, honestly, Danny Welbeck and Olivier Giroud.
You just need a cross.
That's all you need to
and
do.
he will score it.
Dude, Welbs and Giroud is would be an
Great.
unbelievable.
That's great front line. And then Dortmund they did sell Sancho. They're trying to hold out on Haaland.
Yeah.
There's been multiple.
He's at preseason with him right now.
Yeah, there's been multiple requests from like Chelsea, City, United, teams like that.
And
they're all
Barca
turning
are
him
be able
down.
to afford him now that they're trying to keep Messi.
Yeah. And then finally,
PSG's on a
PSG decided maybe we need a new defense, and they've gone and signed like ultimate team Ramos, Donnarumma, and Hakimi.
Yep.
Which
two of them on a free.
Yeah. Just
Donnarumma and Ramos both on a free
and then
transfer.
Now there's rumors about Ronaldo maybe going because he wants to link up with Ramos and other former Real Madrid players.
Did you see that Kylian Mbappe said he wants to leave PSG, and Ramos was trying to convince him not to go because he wants to go to Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
And Ramos was like, don't go there. and apparently Kylian said he still wants to go. Like,
yeah,
he's not listening.
Yeah, there's definitely rumors of him leaving, especially if Ronaldo wants to come as well.
Yeah.
And then I guess to finish it up,
one of the best little stories.
You thought the Tottenham documentary was good.
Yeah.
Just wait for Arsenal.
All or Nothing Arsenal. Yeah. Probably going to be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's what.
And that will be an absolute masterclass. It is going to be about this season, so they started filming it already. It's just wonderful. They've already lost and tied in preseason.
To two Scottish teams.
They lost to, who was it? And I thought it was Groningen.
No, it's like Hibernian.
Oh, yeah. So they lost to Hibernian, who are in the Scottish division. They lost 2-1, and Aubameyang missed a penalty in that game. And then they tied 2-2 to Rangers, who are Steven Gerrard's team, who are very good, but they're also in the Scottish division, so they're not that good. So just a wonderful start to the documentary.
I mean, I think it's hilarious that like Amazon started like, let's follow Man City.
Yeah.
They win the title. It's like incredible to see like that
they
good of a team.
They know what people are gonna watch.
And then they're like,
Let's
go to Tottenham.
Let's find a train wreck.
Let's go to Tottenham and Arsenal and just see what happens.
Dude, it's gonna be wonderful.
Watch them win the league.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
That would be even better than them just being mediocre again.
No, like if they
It'd
have
be
a,
so
no, if they
good.
have like a terrible back room, but they somehow still are winning like games
Yeah.
and they win the league.
No, there's like conflict everywhere.
It's like a soap opera, but they win the league.
But they're just winning
That'll
like
be
1-0. Oh my god.
That would be so great. But yeah, that and then also I know you don't like this show, but Ted Lasso season 2
Yeah.
has been premiered to the actors and stuff, which means it's finished and it'll be coming out later in early August or something like that, maybe late July. I can't
Apple
remember.
TV.
Yeah, Apple TV. Phenomenal show. People need to watch it.
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis is a legend, and I think we're gonna finish it there and leave it at that. And we will see you guys in the coming weeks, depending on how much transfer news piles up and stuff like that. We will then maybe bring a pod to you. Otherwise, maybe expect us the week before the Premier League starts.
Mhm.
So until
We'll
then,
make predictions about
yeah.
after all the transfers are
Exactly. We need to, we
lined
need
up.
to have the squads ready
Yeah.
to make the predictions. But yeah, once all that's done, yeah, we'll be back. And until then, hopefully you all stay safe and are well. And we'll see you in a bit. Peace.